وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما بقية الله الأعظم روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Brothers and sisters, there's a request if you all can move a little bit forward. The hall is getting full and people who might be coming in can have room. This is going to be just a short speech on my part. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allah has spoken about many people in the Quran, Anbiya, prophets, messengers, and others. Sometimes He speaks about the beginning of their life. Sometimes He speaks about the ending of their life or some incidents in their life. When we read the Quran, we find these people mentioned in the Quran. But there's only one person that Allah has mentioned all of his life. His beginning, his childhood, his adult life, and his ending. Only one person that Allah has mentioned his whole life in the Quran, and that is Imam Hussein. Allah has mentioned his whole life in the Quran. No one else that He has mentioned the life of that person in the Quran. Surah Ahqaf, Ayat 15, I will read for you. Just translate it and that's it. We'll come to Masaib. Everyone should know this. Those who don't know, Hussein is the only person that Allah has mentioned his whole life in the Quran. He says, وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ إِحْسَانًا. Allah has enjoined a man to be good to his parents. Allah has enjoined this man to be good to his parents. وَضَعَتْهُ أُمُّهُ كُرْهًا وَوَضَعَتْهُ كُرْهًا. His mother went through a lot of problems bearing him and giving birth to him. She went through a lot of problems, pain. She went through to bear him and to give him birth. وَحَمْلُهُ وَفَصَالُهُ ثَلَاثُونَ شَهْرًا. And the period of his pregnancy and the time of his feeding is equal to 30 months. Is equal to 30 months. Now, you know that weaning, or when Allah has mentioned the time for that in the Quran, that you should feed your child for 2 years. How many months is 2 years? 24. How many months is pregnancy? 9 months. So you add them up together, that's 33 months. Allah says that the period of this person's pregnancy in the womb and him being fed is 30 months. So it means that this person is born 6 months into the pregnancy. In all of Islam, there were two personalities that were born 6 months old in pregnancy. One was Hazrat Yahya, the other is Imam Hussein. Two people in the history, you see, have been born 30 months, meaning 6 months into the pregnancy that we know. One is Hazrat Yahya and one is Imam Hussein. Then Allah says, Hatta iza balagha ashudda, until he became an adult. Wa balagha arba'ina sana, and he reached the age of 40. This person was born 6 months, but he reached the age of 40. My friends, Yahya died when he was 30. Yahya died when he was 30. So the only person this ayat is speaking about is Imam Hussein now. He said he reaches the age of 40. When he reaches the age of 40, Now Imam Hussein made a dua at the age of 40 that Allah says, Qala Rabbi awzi'ni an ashkura ni'mataka allati an'amta alayya wa ala walidayya. Allah, give me the opportunity that I can thank you for the ni'mat that you have given me and my parents. Give me that opportunity that I can thank you for that. وَأَنْ أَعْمَلَ صَالِحًا, that I can do a good deed, taradani, that you will be pleased with me. That I can do something that you will be pleased with me. وَأَصْلِحْ بِذُرِّيَّتِي, Allah, do good in my zurriyat, make them righteous. Inni tubtu ilayka, I turn towards you. Wa inni minal muslimin, I am those who submit to you. Allah describes the whole life of Imam Hussein here. Imam Hussein is making this dua at the age of 40. Allah, give me that opportunity that I can do a good deed. That's it, my friends. That's all I have to say. Imam Hussein has just buried Ali Asghar. When he buried Ali Asghar, he came out and sat in front of the tents looking at the battlefield. He sat on the ground for a minute just to observe that day that happened. Looking everywhere. Sometimes his eyes went to the place where Ali Akbar was killed. Sometimes his eyes went to the river. And then he got up and Imam Hussein came in the tent. When he came to the tent, he went to Zainab and said, Zainab, come with me. He took Zainab to their own personal tent. And then he said to Zainab, Zainab, itini bi libasin atiq. Zainab, get me some old clothes for me. Zainab brought these clothes from the box. She brought these clothes for Imam Hussein, the shirt for Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein wore that shirt. He changed his shirt and he wore that shirt. When Zainab saw him wearing that shirt, she started crying. He said, Zainab, what are you crying for? He says, I remember my mother sewing this shirt. And she was crying and looking at me. Imam Hussein, when he wore that shirt, then this time he did something that he had never done before. When he wore the shirt, he started tearing the shirt in different places. Different places he was tearing the shirt. Zainab said, why are you doing this, brother? He said, just pray this shirt remains on my body. Imam Hussein comes to the tent of Zainul Abidin, who is lying down unconscious. He wakes him up and says, son, get up. Imam Sajjad wakes up and sees Imam Hussein. His face is filled with blood. He looks at him and says, Father, what happened? He says, I'm going to the battlefield. I'm saying Khudafiz to you. I'm going to the battlefield, my son. I'm saying farewell to you. I just have a wasiyat. When Imam Sajjad heard that, he said, Father, what do you mean? Where's Abbas? Where's Uncle Abbas? Where's Ali Akbar? Where are everyone? He said, they're all gone. Imam Sajjad said, then let me go. He says, no, my son, you have to stay. I have to go. I have to go. Imam Hussein at that point just turned towards him and said, I have a wasiyat to make. My friends, just listen to Hussein's wasiyat. What is he concerned about? He has lost everyone on the day of Ashura. What is Hussein concerned about right now? You know what he tells Imam Sajjad? He says, my son, when you go and meet my Shia, when you go and meet my Shias, tell them when they drink water, think about my thirst. Hussein has been thirsty for 3 days, more than anyone else. And now Hussein on Ashura, he's thinking about you. He's thinking of you. La ilaha illallah. May Allah give you ajr, inshallah. You know, this is the day, my friends. Your tears mean a lot to Bibi Fatima. Your tears mean a lot to Bibi Fatima. So inshallah, as much as you can, go ahead. Feel the pain of Bibi Fatima. Feel the pain of Bibi Fatima. She is sitting with you right now. She is sitting here with you right now. Imam Hussain, when he gave his wasiyat to Imam Sajjad, comes out into the tent. When he came out to leave, all the ladies, Rabab, Layla, all of the ladies, they came around Imam Hussain, made a circle around him. Made a circle around him and started doing martyrdom and saying, Hussein, what can we do? We have nothing else to give you. We gave everything we gave you. If we had something else, we would give you also. Hussein said, I just want you to be patient. He gave them some advice. He told them that don't make yourself such that enemies will laugh at you. Keep your prestige. And he gave advices to them. And then he went. He came out, the last ride of Hussein. Hussein comes out there, gets on Zuljana, tells Zuljana that his horse, Zuljana, he tells him, Zuljana, this is the last time I will bother you. I won't bother you anymore. Take me one more time. Take me one more time to the battlefield. And when he tells Zuljana, doesn't move, and he points to his feet, Hussein looks down and sees Sakina holding the leg of Zuljana. Holding the leg of Zuljana, saying, don't take my father. Hussein gets off the horse. He gets off the horse. He comes to Sakina. Hussein gets on his knees, embraces Sakina, and says, Sakina, what happened? He says, Father, everyone who has gone to the battlefield hasn't come back. I don't want to lose you. I can't live without you. I don't want to lose you. Hussein, how can he calm this girl down? How can he calm her down? You know what Hussein says to her? He says, Sakina, do you want to make a deal with me? He said, what is that? He said, until now, you used to sleep on my chest. And Ali Asghar used to sleep on his mother's chest. Can we make a deal? From now on, Ali Asghar will sleep on my chest. And you will sleep with your mother. My friends, until today, Ali Asghar is on the chest of Hussein. He calms her down. He calms her down. And then as she goes back, Imam Hussain takes the one last ride. He goes to the battlefield, stands before the army, gives them the last chance for them to back out from this, gives them the last chance to back out from this whole heinous mission that they're on. But they didn't listen. So then Hussein starts to fight. 3 days thirsty, my friends. You cannot even stand up. A person can't even stand up. Hussein, after 3 days, he starts fighting. And when he starts fighting, his fight was so beautiful. That fight was so great that everyone was afraid of Hussein. Hussein used to attack from left to the right, and they would just run away from Hussein. Anyone who would come, Hussein would kill them. No one stood a chance. They were looking, how is this person fighting like this? How is this person fighting like this? Maybe if Abbas on the riverside, if he saw Hussein fighting, he would say from there, "Oh Hussein, how great you are." He started fighting, but the time came and everyone ran away. And they made a plan to come around. That's it, my brothers and sisters. They made a circle around Hussein from far away. One side you had archers. The other side you had people with stones, people with spears. Everyone took their shot at Hussein. And they were shooting at Hussein everything that they had. People who had just stones, they said, if you don't have a weapon, use stones and throw it at Hussein. Everyone was shooting things at Hussein. There was a cloud of arrows coming towards Hussein from different sides. So many arrows were embedded in Hussein. It is said when he fell to the ground, he couldn't reach the ground. Hussein, when he was there, you know how many are there? It is said, let me tell you the secret of this, my friend. Maybe you will see this. It is said that there were 34 wounds of the arrow. 34 wounds from arrows, 33 arrows, and there were 33 swords that cut Hussein, and there are 33 spears that went into Hussein. You know what this is? This is the tasbih of Bibi Fatima. Allah had given the tasbih of Bibi Fatima so that Fatima can calm down, knowing every time Hussein was hurt, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Hussein, with all these wounds, now fell to the ground. So many arrows were there. How many arrows that said, I'm finishing my friend. Hussein is on the ground now. You know how many arrows were there? It is said that they said that we were shooting arrows. Every arrow, they said, there's going to be a reward for you. They said, we went to shoot arrows into Hussein. We saw there's no room in his body. So what we did, we went and put out the old arrows so we can shoot new arrows in his body. They were replacing the They were shooting arrows. You know, this is how it is. You know what spears are? Let me tell you. Just relax, let me tell you. You know, spears are made such that they have a pointed end and a huge ending. The reason they have that is because it's not about going in. When you put it in, that's not where the damage is done. It's when you pull out when the damage is done. When they take a spear, you put it in and then you pull it out. They were putting in the spears, and when they're pulling at Hussein, Hussein was going from left side to the right side to the left. They were dragging his body. Hussein was going through this. My friends, just imagine what's going on with Hussein. What's going on with Hussein? You know, at the time came, you know, when they came and they wanted to kill Hussein, he wasn't moving now. Now he just goes into sajda and that's it. They wanted to see what's he being said. Someone went close to him and said, see what's he saying over there. He's saying, Ridhan bi qada'ik wa tasliman li amrak. Allah, I'm happy with what you have done with me. I'm so happy with what you have done with me, Allah. He said, and then at that point, Shimr comes forward. Shimr is coming forward. When he comes forward, because he asked people to go and kill Imam Hussein, they won't listen to him because people were afraid. No one wanted to do the deed of killing Imam Hussein. So then Shimr, he said, I will do it myself. Look at me, I will do it myself. So when Shimr moved forward, he was taking a sword and he was hitting it on the ground. You know, he was hitting it on the ground. People said, why are you doing that for? He said, you know, because whenever you want to kill an animal, you want to make it sharp. You want to make the knife sharp so it can go right through. Shimr was saying that I'm making it dull. I'm making my sword dull so I can take my time killing Hussein. I want to tell you all that Hussein has nobody now. Hussein has nobody now. I'm going to take my time killing Imam Hussein. So Shimr comes forward. Lanatullah alayhi. He comes forward. But in Islam we have rules for slaughtering animals. When you slaughter an animal, you want to slaughter the animal from the front side. From the front side. That's it, my friend. You want to slaughter it from there, not from the back side. If you do it from the back side, there's a bone here. You have to go through the bone. Here in the front side, when you slaughter an animal, the veins are cut off, the blood comes out, the animal doesn't feel pain anymore. This is the Islamic way of slaughtering an animal. This is it, my friends. When Shimr came there and they wanted to kill Imam Hussein, they didn't have the decency to cut him from the front. They cut him from the back 10 times. Shimr chopped the neck of Imam Hussein. 10 times they chopped it. But this is my last words I will say to you. When in alam, in that realm of akhirat, Allah said to all the Anbiya, and He was so proud of what Hussein is doing. He told the Anbiya, come here, I want you all to gather and see the sacrifice of Hussein. All the Anbiya came there. Everyone. Isa was there. Musa. They were spectators watching Hussein. But they couldn't take it. Every chop that came on the neck of Hussein, some of them would go away. Some of them would say, we can't see this anymore. We can't see this anymore. They all left. Until only one remained there. That was Bibi Fatima. She said, you all can leave my Hussein. I will not leave my Hussein.